Welcome to Reserva Ecológica de Guapiazzu in Brazil, where I'm honored to work as an entomologist for 6 weeks. My plan for today is to walk one of the trails, named the Brown Trail. This trail goes through dense forest, and while it has less butterflies than open areas, the forest has species you cannot see in open areas, so the biodiversity is different. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bart Coppens talking to you from Brazil. I joined a conservation effort named REGUA that is aimed at preserving the Atlantic rainforest, and in particular this natural reserve. It's called, and I don't know if I can even pronounce it, Reserva Ecológica de Guapiazzu. I don't know if I pronounced it right because my Portuguese is horrible. But basically most of this area is protected. It has wetlands and forest, and there's reforestation efforts going on. And simply me being here in the first place contributes to this conservation. Yay! Today I'm going to walk a trail and see whatever butterflies I can find. Let's go! I believe this tree here is called cannonball tree. As you can see, there's nuts in it, a lot of seeds, and some of these can fall down and hit you in the head if you're unlucky. So be careful. Don't stand under the cannonball tree, people. Forest here is very nice and dense with some beautiful trees. I already think I saw something that looks like a butterfly or a moth, but it flies too fast for me to catch. Looks like some of the bird researchers here put up a net to capture birds, so we must avoid this and go beneath it. Yeah, this area is used to study butterflies, moths, birds, mammals, etc. Let's go under the net. Oh. It's a bit inconvenient, but whatever. Alright people, I'm about 10 minutes in, and surprisingly this area doesn't have too many butterflies. It's because the forest here is very dense and dark. Most butterflies prefer more open sunny spaces. But the species that we do find here are different, because there's different species that prefer the dark forest and different species that prefer the open sunny places. But I did notice something really cool here on this leaf. A very cool species of moth. Let me show it to you, it's very nice. And we are kicking off the day with an incredible tiger moth. Wow! This is why I need to travel for my channel, people. No one else is filming stuff like this. This is Idalis admirabilis, a species of tiger moth from South America. And it's found in Peru, Suriname, Trinidad, Brazil. And I'm pretty sure more countries maybe in South America. The creamy banana yellow and black tile pattern that runs over a line in their wings and white thorax makes for a gorgeous insect. Moths from the genus Idalis are always a treat. Some of the best eye candy out there. Tiger moths are in a lot of cases toxic and unpalatable to birds, and develop bright colors to advertise this. This is known as aposematism. In particular from the Itominae group, which are often known as the glass wings and the tiger wings.
These are the kind of butterflies that do prefer the dense, dark forests. Sometimes if you're lucky you can see them flying around here. This one here is perching, can you see it? So there are some butterflies here. These prefer the shaded areas. As you can see here, it's very shaded. That's what the tiger wings prefer. This thing may look like a butterfly, but it's not. This is a moth that mimics butterflies. It's very fast, I didn't know if you saw it. It's metallic blue and it's a tiger moth. I think from the Percopina group. If it comes back I'll try to catch it, but it is kind of elusive. Tiny little Rhodinidae butterfly on the forest floor. This, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Rhodinidae, right? Butterfly family that is new for me, because you really have to go to mostly to South America to see them. The rest of the world they're quite more rare.
This is a Mesosemia species. Now this species is hard for me to identify. If you know the idea, then please let me know in the comments. What butterfly is this? I am not confident enough to bring it down to a species level. I'll just stick to the genus Mesosemia. These are typical of shaded forests.
Alright, so here the trail becomes more broad and less narrow. It's also better for butterflies, I suppose. Already the mosquitoes are starting to eat me alive. Thankfully I have a secret weapon. Anti-mosquito lotion. Ooh, such a muscular arm. Just kidding. I look like Hot Wings from KFC. I should work out. Or not. Who cares about appearance anyway? Not me. This is top tier content. This is what you subscribed for, seeing myself rub the lotion on my skin. Or else it gets the hose again. Haha. Pop culture references are so funny and epic. Ugh. Not that many butterflies here actually. The other trails I walked had way more butterflies. It's because it's dark here. What a cute little forest stream. I would feel at peace here if it wasn't so hot and sweaty. If I look closely, I can even see some tiny fish at the bottom. That's cute. Can you see the fish? I know it's not the world's best close-up, but if you look closely you can see them. Not going to catch them though. So, because it will make my net wet. And that will be bad for the butterflies. But there you go, fish. In the forest. Open areas. Oh, it's just set down. Never mind. Again, here's again the blue moth that mimics butterflies. Let's catch it for this time. Let me grab my net. Let's hope I don't mess this up. Because I'm not very good at catching, to be honest. Damn. Let's go. Got it.
Believe it or not, this butterfly mimicking moth is a moth known as Hippocrita bicolora, a species of tiger moth. It mimics butterflies from the Itominae group. To the human eye, they're actually a poor mimic, but some studies revealed that some part of the light spectrum that is not visible to the human eye, such as ultraviolet, plays a part as well. And it plays a role in the way these moths mimic butterflies. They reflect ultraviolet light, so that their ultraviolet signature is almost identical to some butterflies. Birds can see ultraviolet unlike humans, and to a bird, this moth probably looks like a butterfly even more than it does to the human eye. How clever.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, all the butterflies and moths that I catch here are being released back into the wild. Oop, and it flew away. The reason I'm catching and filming them is in the name of conservation. We have to know the species that live in this area in the first place in order to protect them in this natural reserve. Catching them does not harm them. It may rub off a few scales, but it doesn't impact the insect in the long term. I'm very gentle and I'm experienced with them. Second of all, the educational value that's provided by these types of videos does warrant stressing the animals a little bit. It's the payoff. It's the conservation effort that we do, and it's also raising awareness and educating people about these animals on YouTube. That is a valuable service to us and to these animals. No idea what this is. It's obviously a grasshopper, but no idea what species. And as I've said, the dark areas of the forest, you still see these tiger butterflies. Go. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah. Mountain lions are a thing here in Brazil. Although you have to be really lucky or unlucky, depending on your perspective, to see one. I think in Portuguese they're called uma onca. Oh no, wait, uma means one, I think. Or an. I think it's called like onça parda or something. Onca parda. Mantena a calma e de espaço para que o animal possa escapar. I don't know what it means. Let's hope we find one. But also let's hope we don't find one. It's a win-win situation. If you don't see a mountain lion, you can be relieved that you didn't see a mountain lion. But if you see a mountain lion, you can be happy that you saw one.
Aha! Another species of Mesosemia. This one I can identify. So this is a butterfly from the Rheodinidae family. As a person that grew up in Europe, that means it's special to me. The family of Rheodinidae is almost absent in Europe. We only have one species of them in Europe. But in South America there's hundreds of Rheodinidae species. This is one of the first Rheodinidae butterflies that I have seen in my life. It's Mesosemia nictea, a common species in the dark, thick forest where there is a lot of shade. Reportedly, it's also found in Suriname, French Guiana, and parts of South America. This species typically rests on leaves in shady areas with the wings partially raised up.
And the world's tiniest hair streak award goes to this thing. It's hard to show you the scale, but it's really, really small for a butterfly. It is small, but it's very delicate and beautiful. Wow, what a small little butterfly. It's smaller than my fingertip.
I believe this super tiny hair streak is Dichia carnica, an absolute beauty. And a fun fact is that the upper side is bright blue, although it rarely shows the upper side. Nothing is known about its biology, and the host plant is not found in literature, which is jarring. In the tropics there are hundreds of species of butterflies of which the host plant and the caterpillars are unknown to science, including this one. This is why more people need to study and document them for the sake of conservation. If you don't know what it eats, you cannot protect or conserve it. This is what my channel is trying to do. Study these animals and find out more information so we can protect and conserve them.
Can I put my finger near it to show the size maybe? Oh, did you see how small? Alright, here's a cute little open area in the dense forest. Here is the trail back into the dense forest. But open areas always have different species, so let's check around for a few seconds. I already see some butterflies I haven't seen yet. There you go, it just lands here in front of my face. What else do you want, eh? Sorry for the shaking camera. It is funny to me how butterflies have such different preferences when it comes to the forest. And when you come to an open clearing or a dark patch of forest, every second you'll just see different species. This is not one species that we could encounter before except in this open little area.
Hey, I am lucky. This is a Doxocopa butterfly. What species is it? This must be perhaps Doxocopa linda. Some species of Doxocopa are metallic purple or blue, but this is one of the more plainly colored ones. Still, spotting a Doxocopa is always a good thing.
If you're lucky, you may see a Marpesia on the forest floor. This one seems to be missing one hindwing tail. These are often interested also in minerals and salts from the soils. Mud puddling is actually rare in this region. You don't see it often. I don't know how or why. I think it has to do with the amount of salts that there are in the environment. And in forest or environment where where minerals are more scarce, butterflies mud puddle in larger amounts. Despite that, the mineral sucking behavior, you can still see it here. Although, sorry for the shaking, although you're not really going to see huge swarms of butterflies here, unless you're very lucky. But this is a nice species. The caterpillars feed on fig tree. There are several species of Marpesia here too. There's also an orange one, a reddish orange one. I wonder why it's missing a tail. Maybe it got attacked by a bird. Their tails don't last very long, unfortunately. Even in the wild, not in captivity. Wings of butterflies deteriorate with age, sometimes quite fast, especially the vulnerable parts like the tails. Hymenopterans of several kinds are also interested in the soil for various reasons. Some like to have the minerals too, but others just collect the mud and use it to build their nest. There's a number of species of bees and wasps here in the area that basically build their nests from clay. And they do so by, it's collecting soil. Did you see that? It's probably going to build a nest using that soil. Once again, mosquitoes starting to eat me. It's time for the milk. Yeah? Do you want some milk from daddy? Huh? You want some daddy milk? It's time to use the daddy milk. God, I hope people aren't going to crop this nonsense. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you want some more milk, girl? Don't worry, I have all the milk in store. This is top tier content, I know. This is what you want to see on YouTube. Oh, here we see the king of papilionids Very, very, very large papilla on it. It's a huge butterfly. Can you see it? Not sure if it's laying eggs. It could be. It seems to be interested in the plant. Wow, look at that. Look at how big it is. What a beauty. Wow. So here we have another Marpacia, but it just refuses to settle down. Seems to be a very skittish species. It would be awesome if we could make a close-up. But it doesn't really agree with me following it. Filming butterflies is more challenging than I thought, to be honest. A lot of the butterflies in my videos just pass by for a few seconds. Filming this Marpacia literally is the worst. It keeps settling down on the ground, but only for a few seconds each time. Most annoying behavior ever. It's like teasing me. I prefer if a butterfly just flies away forever. Not keeping me occupied like this for ages. Come on, dude. Just settle down. I've been trying to film this orange Marpacia for ages. Stupid butterfly. Just waiting for it to settle down somewhere. It keeps flying around the floor, but it really doesn't sit still for any second. What a shy species. But still it doesn't leave the area. I don't get it. At some point it must be getting tired, right? My strategy is just to wear it down. Finally, some of my hard work paid off. I managed to place my camera in a position where it doesn't scare the butterfly. And wow, it's a beauty.
Finally, worth it, a Marpacia patrius, a fantastic Brazilian butterfly. It is found in Brazil, all the way through Central America, Mexico, the West Indies to southern Florida. Strays are found as far north as Arizona, Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas and southern Texas. So you can see them in the United States too. The eggs are laid on several types of ficus or fig trees, which is their favorite host plant. Did I tell you, getting good footage of butterflies is actually hard outdoors work. Sometimes I spend multiple days outdoors in the scorching heat and overwhelmed by mosquitoes, just to get a close-up of a species that I wanted to film for you. Not all butterflies give themselves up that easily. In this case, I spent over 20 minutes chasing the butterfly around until it was too tired and finally sat down for a short while before flying away. Appreciate the close-ups, folks. They're hard work.
Now here's what's really cool. The vegetation is full of moths that mimic tiger long-winged butterflies. Let's take a look. See if we can scare them out. Moths that mimic butterflies are really common here. Especially their tiger moths from the Percopina group. And a lot of these arctids mimic the butterflies visually, sometimes even chemically, and the way they fly is also very convincing. This is a moth from the genus Disgema, and it's one of those mimics that looks perfectly like a butterfly. Now, in order to show you its excellent mimicry, when it flies, you'll notice. Look at the way it flies. Okay, wow, I was just strolling through the forest, ladies and gentlemen. And behind me I see something that's really cool. A group of zebra butterflies that appear to be feeding together on tree sap. Let me show you.
Alright, so this is a lucky moment, people. Not one, not two, but 3 zebra butterflies. Or rather Colobura dirce, feeding on tree sap. Yay! This is why I need to travel for my YouTube channel, people. You simply don't get footage like this by looking at animals in captivity. This is the real entomology. This is the real deal. Colobura dirce, the dirce beauty, also known as the mosaic or the zebra mosaic or the zebra butterfly. The butterflies habitually sit on tree trunks in a head downwards position at a height of usually about 2 meters on tree trunks, and usually they imbibe sap and moisture from crevices in the bark. If approached, they sometimes try to evade the intruder by running around the tree to the opposite direction, and if followed, they will run back to their original position, quite literally forcing the observer to run around in circles after them on the tree. They are usually reluctant to take flight when they are feeding and can be approached quite close. If they are forced to do so, they usually quickly return to resume feeding. The butterfly breeds in primary forest, but also secondary forest at altitudes between 0 to 1400 meters above sea level, and is usually found more frequently around altitudes of 800 meters. But in this case we are in the lowlands, and here it's also abundant. It's found in both the deciduous and evergreen forest, and also commonly found in orchards. Colobura dirce is distributed all the way from Mexico to Argentina to the Caribbean, which means this species has conquered pretty much all of tropical America. Interestingly, this tree was wounded and damaged and leaking tree sap. It seems some type of ants were responsible for the damage, since some ants were visibly chewing and damaging the tree bark, perhaps in an effort to keep the sap flowing, opening the wound.
That's pretty awesome, isn't it? One of the things butterflies do go crazy for is tree sap. Of course, most people know that nectar and rotting fruits are a source of food, but damaged and bleeding trees, well, sap of trees often also contains a lot of sugar, so it's nutritious for the butterflies. Look at it go. It flies so convincingly like a butterfly, doesn't it? But really it is the Disgema arctic moth. Like the graceful way it flaps its wings. To really fool you into thinking that this is a butterfly. And slowly, ladies and gentlemen, I am back in the beautiful Brazilian wetlands. What a nice place. Let's see if there's more places we can explore. Alright folks, we walked most of the trail. Oh look, Bottas crosses. We walked most of the trail, but there's still a small part left that's quite interesting. It goes up a hill, to a bunch of lodges for tourists. We left most of the dense forest and are back at the REGUA lodges. But let's go ahead and see what we find.
I got myself another beauty to add to the list. Difficult to identify, but I believe this one is Lycorea halia. Don't spank me if I'm wrong though. This butterfly is part of a huge mimicry complex that involves dozens of species that mimic each other. But the size of this one is unmistakable. This one is actually closely related to the monarch butterflies, but it shares its color patterns with many Itomine butterflies. The larvae are said to eat many types of milkweed, in particular, from the genus Asclepias. The hairy tufts that protrude from its abdomen, if I'm not mistaken, are the coremata. They are scent brushes that disperse the pheromones, which is the smell that attracts the butterflies to each other to find a mate. Don't worry, I'm gentle with the butterflies and I know how to handle them. I've handled thousands of butterflies and I don't hurt them. This one is found from Peru to the Caribbean to Mexico. Strays can be found as far north as Texas reportedly. Impressive.
Okay, this is cute. There's ants on the trail. And some of them are carrying huge berries. Check this out. Working hard there, my friend. Look at that. They say that ants are some of the strongest animals in proportion to their body size. I can believe it. Look at it, carrying it like a champion. Some tasty berries. What ant species is this, people? Write it in the comments. They have a very large head with large jaws. Looks like a species I don't want to get stung by. Oh, looks like it just gave up on its berry. And nerds of YouTube, I really need your help, okay? If you know what species it is, please write a comment for me. The location is Brazil, Atlantic Rainforest. Man, they're so clumsy. Look at that. The way it's carrying the fruit is so funny. So funny. How long can it keep this up? Oh, you nearly made it, brother. You nearly made it. You made it. May you enjoy the fruits of your labor. Man, you gotta respect hard work, even if it's just an insect. Look at that, there's a lot of tiny ants here too. Like really tiny, can you see it? Next to the nest entrance with the big ants, there's really tiny small ants. Wow. Look at those, how small are they? They must be like 1 or 2 millimeters. Meanwhile, the big ants are just carrying fruit into the nest. Fantastic. I don't know much about ants, but they are fascinating. I can see why ant channels are so popular on YouTube. You can watch them for hours. I think I'm going to make a donation of 2 berries. Let's see how they respond. There you go. It's a gift for you. So you guys work so hard. Do you like it? And it's close to your nest, so you don't have to carry it. Oh, they already discovered it. Oh! Yep. No food goes unnoticed. I guess we have something in common. Wow. I don't know what kind of berries these are, but these ants really like them. It's the main thing that they are carrying. Look at you go. Yeah. You deserve it. You work for your food. I mean, as a YouTuber, I practically live off donations too, so I'll make one donation to these ants to pass along the good spirit. Wow. And if you look down this trail, there's just so many of them. All of them just carrying these berries. Like, here's the next one. Here's another one. What's up with these berries, man? They like them.
Wow, a Brassolis butterfly. There are several very similar looking species. So forgive me if I am wrong, but I think this is Brassolis asteria. What's really crazy about Brassolis is that they are species of non-feeding butterfly. That's right, folks. These butterflies have no functional mouth and cannot eat. Their proboscis is reduced to something incredibly small that they cannot use to eat. So just like the moths that you see on my channel, these butterflies essentially starve to death because they cannot eat. They live long enough, just long enough to mate, lay eggs and die. Almost like a silk moth for comparison. That's insane, a non-feeding butterfly. Let's catch it!
Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but in this world there exist a number of butterflies that cannot feed, just like a moth. Those of you who are familiar with my videos and my content know that I breed a lot of moths. I often even film their life cycles. And at the end of the video you'll see the moths die pretty quickly, because a lot of them have reduced mouth parts and cannot feed. Butterflies generally do not have this problem. Butterflies have a proboscis that allows them to drink tree sap, nectar, juices from rotting fruits. But there is actually a very small amount of butterflies who, just like moths, are unable to feed. Generally this phenomenon is pretty rare, but this butterfly is one of those. And let me grab my net. I hope I can catch it and doesn't fly away. So then we can take a look at the proboscis. I really want to catch this one, but it's always a challenge. It seems to be sitting still, so I have the advantage. Let's see. Yes, I got it! Ladies and gentlemen, I've got it. And now for the moment of truth, let's look at this tiny little proboscis here. As you can see, it does have a proboscis. This pink little thing is the proboscis. Don't worry, this does not hurt the butterfly, it will be unharmed. I know exactly how to handle them in a way that doesn't hurt them. But can you see this pink little thingy here? This is what's left of their proboscis. It's very, very small. And reportedly it is too small to drink nectar from flowers. Because it's basically... I don't know if it can even unroll. It's this weird little thingy here that seems to be just atrophied. So that's so funny. What's even crazier is that, just like a moth, these butterflies generally fly in the darkness at the twilight, during sunrise or sundown reportedly, only showing a few hours of activity per day in darker conditions. So that makes this a very unusual butterfly. They do not feed, they only mate, lay eggs and die. So weird, huh? I believe the host plants is several kinds of palm trees. Alrighty then, I released it back into the wild. I'm kinda happy to show you that one. It's very unusual biology. Seeing butterflies is fun, but we are like to talk about the biology of butterflies too on YouTube. And a species with unusual biology will make the video more interesting. If you like birds, come to REGUA. This is one of our bird watching huts. If If you're a tourist, you can visit this and use your binoculars to see the rarest and coolest, most colorful birds. Now, ladies and gentlemen, behind me are some of the tourist lodges. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, Bart, wow, all of this nature looks very good to me, I want to visit as well. Well, good news, because you can visit here. Everyone can visit this place. Students, tourists, even volunteers. So I would recommend checking out the REGUA website if you're interested in seeing this place. Personally, I don't sleep here. This is for tourists. And I'm actually not a tourist. I'm here as a scientist. So I use one of the scientist and research accommodations, which are also nice, but I guess less luxury. Because, well, if you're here as a researcher, you don't need all this extravagant wealth, of course. So I have a modest hut, but it's really nice. Let me show you. By the way, I'm not being paid to promote any of this, but the people here have been kind to me. And all the money they make goes to the conservation of this natural reserve. So, if this video inspires people to come here as a tourist or as a student, I have done my job well. Consider visiting. You can see all the cool butterflies just like me. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the moth wall. The light on this thing is always on, and at night it attracts a lot of moths. So if you're a tourist here, you get your own moth trap. Because this thing here runs every day and it attracts several species of Saturniidae. Imagine going on a vacation and you don't even need to bring your own moth light. That's fantastic, isn't it? You can visit this place too and get all the moth trapping you want without having to buy a light bulb or a generator. Isn't that fantastic? Personally, I'm here to research the Saturniidae and I noticed a very big female of Automeris on this wall. Wow, let's show... Whoop! Here it goes. Actually, it's a freaking male. Can you see how big this species is? If you come to REGUA, you can see moths like this every day. Isn't that a perfect holiday? I think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, all the butterflies that I catch, I release. But I came to Brazil to study the Saturniidae family. And this is actually a species I haven't seen yet. So, damn, I wish I had a cage. Ah, there we go. I have these in my backpack. And I'm actually going to use this one for my documentation project. It's a project where I'm documenting the local Saturniidae. They are my specialism. So this specimen is going to come with me. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill it, but I'm going to extensively photograph it. And of course add this species to my list of Saturniids in this region. Because that's what we want to know. What Saturniids live in this area? There's one for me. And here's a tiny Automeris melanops. Now, these guys are very common here. I'm not going to take it as a specimen. Oh, there it goes. This one I've already photographed several times. So I wasn't going to collect it. I only take the species I haven't photographed yet for my documentation project, which will help conserve the local species. There's a swimming pool too. Yeah, if you visit REGUA, you can use the swimming pool. Unfortunately, the swimming pool is not for me. Because I'm not here as a tourist, I'm here as a researcher. And the research accommodation is different. The tourist stuff is off limits for me. But hey, just showing you, if you want to come here as a tourist, you got the swimming pool as well. Interesting little caterpillar down here too. Let's take it and see if I can rear it. I have to be careful because the hairs are probably very itchy. Yeah, there you go. Let's see if I can raise it to a moth. For my documentation project, it also includes documenting larvae of local species. Alright people, I arrived at my research lodge. If you enjoyed this video, I have good news. I have many videos like this one coming up, just be patient. We saw a lot of cool species today. I'm about to get a shower, get some lunch, and see if I can photograph some of the moths for my documentation project. Ciao ciao, see you next video.
Hold on babes, the video is almost over. But before we end it, let's show you some delicious close-ups of the moths that I found today. They'll also be made into bug highlights later, in which I talk more about their biology. Fantastic, isn't it? Okay, that was all. Well, that wasn't all. I have one more message before I go.
The Atlantic rainforest in Brazil is one of the most deforested rainforests in the world. Reforestation is the answer to deforestation. Here at REGUA we have a massive tree nursery that grows thousands of native trees and plants. And these will be planted in deforested areas such as farmland. And slowly this will help to restore the Atlantic rainforest. It's a long process, but that means that REGUA is contributing to the restoration of the rainforest that is constantly being lost. And that, my friends, is a noble pursuit. Look at that. Trees are essential for life. Trees capture the nutrients in the soil. But more importantly, plants, their roots, and the humus layer they leave behind on the soil capture fresh water. In tropical places around the world where there is reforestation, you will see shortages of water, shortages of food, depletion of the soil, erosion, and more terrible things happening. For the people of Brazil, it's very important to preserve these rainforests for the future. But things are unfortunately not looking good right now. And this is why I came all the way to Brazil to help with REGUA's conservation project, because I have faith in it. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, not only REGUA needs your help, I need your help too. My channel contributes to conservation and reforestation efforts like REGUA. That's why I'm working here currently, to help. But my YouTube channel is completely and utterly demonetized by YouTube. That means that when I make a video, I don't get a single dollar for it in return. YouTube refuses to tell me why I am demonetized, and therefore I have resorted to crowdfunding. This whole trip to Brazil, including my residence here, the flight tickets, the equipment that I need, was all paid for by my fans. I'm not saying this to brag or show off. I know that I'm in a very privileged position. However, without you guys helping me, this video would not exist and none of this would be possible. and I would not be able to contribute to conservation and reforestation of the rainforest. I really want my YouTube channel to have a positive impact on the environment, and therefore I will travel the world to help out and give awareness to on social media several wildlife conservation and reforestation projects. But I can't do it without your help, because what I do is expensive. I cannot travel the world, I cannot show you these places without the financial donations and contributions of my fans and viewers. So if you like my channel and if you like the show, please consider donating to us or sponsoring us on a platform like Patreon or PayPal. The links are available in the description, and there you can read how to do it. Of course, not contributing doesn't make you less of a viewer. I appreciate all your viewership, all your likes, all your comments. You don't have to give me anything unless you are willing and able to. However, with the help of my viewers, I can travel the world, show you the coolest insects, the coolest nature, give awareness for their conservation in the future, and this will help the environment. It's a win-win situation, and you will get to see awesome videos. Hope to see you next time.